you've been paying attention to the Rittenhouse trial, I'm assuming. I mean, it's kind
Yeah.
of on everyone's
How do you
mind.
not?
Yeah, right. Well, what's your general takeaway so far?
I think the most shocking thing for me is that I haven't been shocked by anything.
Yep.
It's basically playing out exactly like, there's no new information that I couldn't see on the videos.
Right.
To me, it was always a clear-cut case of self-defense. The other charges, and they try to sneak more in today too, slime balls, but
Yeah, of course I did.
you know, the other charges, maybe, I don't know, they dropped the curfew one. Do they want to get technical and ding them with some of these? Like, fine, okay, but like, it, I don't know how you look at this and I think anything but self-defense, but I don't want to count my chickens before they're hatched. It's an absolute travesty he's even on trial, in my opinion. But
I agree.
you know,
Well,
geez.
you're mentioning the videos, but I gotta ask: did you look in between the pixels, though? I mean, did you
Well,
get? Did you get?
what I did
You
was
know?
I printed them out on a dot matrix printer here. Then I took a picture of
Ah,
it, and then I used the pinch and squeeze, pinch and
the
squeeze
pinch and
thing or whatever.
squeeze.
Yeah.
Right, right,
What
right.
an amazing that last picture they tried to get in. I think they did get it in too.
They
They've got
did.
a
They.
can they still object to it, or is it done? Is that
I think it's in. I think it's
it's
officially in.
ridiculous.
It doesn't. It doesn't actually show anything. That's the crazy part.
Well, my thing was when I saw it, I thought, okay, fine. If I'm in the jury, I'm like, what am I? I'm like, it's like an Among Us thing. Like you
Right.
can't even tell what it looks like. I personally think that jury made up their mind a long time ago. Like most juries do, by the way.
True.
People think these juries are like on the edge of their seat.
Mm-hmm.
No. This
Could go
jury
either way.
yeah, no. They made up their mind, and I'm not saying whether it's guilty or not guilty, but they made up their mind a long time ago.
Yeah. True. Well, what do you think that?
AR-15,
What do you think that
AR-15,
is?
AR-15,
AR-15.
AR-15. Yeah. So tell me, your weapon was bigger than his weapon. So why did you feel scared?
Yeah, he could have shot you way over there and didn't.
And he didn't. Why do you think he didn't do that? Well,
He didn't shoot you dead.
Yeah, that was I believe I'm not like an aggressive person, but like
Right.
I was like punch the wall mad. It's like, hey, first of all, it's really easy to basically break down what happened in a 20-second high intensity moment, where they were like going through the picture by picture. It's like, what were you thinking here? It's like, bro, this happened over 3 seconds.
Yes, exactly.
Like, you don't
right after he already defended himself against Rosenbaum, right?
Right.
He already killed somebody and he didn't want to, and he admitted, he's like, I just wanted him to stop coming at me.
Right.
I was like, how can you even think what is going through his mind? He's got adrenaline pumping. He's got people all around him. He's heard gunshots. He doesn't know what's coming after him.
He's a kid too. He's not a soldier.
Right.
Even soldiers.
Good point.
Yeah, and even soldiers will melt down when they have their first KIA, or whatever, not KIA, but like even the first they take down somebody else. That's something people carry with them for a very long time.
Yeah.
This kid's just a kid. He's 17 years old. I'm not saying that absolves him of anything, but I'm saying it's like when Littlefinger kept saying, well, what were you thinking here? And then he's like, moves it one frame forward. It's like, well, what were you thinking here? It's like, if you've ever been in a flight or fight scenario, which honestly, I've only been in one that I can remember, is when that guy assaulted me.
Mm-hmm.
You know what was going through my head? Nothing. Like in that moment when the stuff hits the fan.
Yeah.
If there was stuff going through, I can't remember it now.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just like, maybe like I got to get away from this guy, or I thought, what was, but like there's no calculations going on there unless you're trained for that. It's what's the famous, everyone's got a plan until you punch him in the mouth. Is that Tyson or something? Like,
not sure. It's a good one though.
Yeah, but that's like the idea that the insanity that he would be able to now, by the way, a year later, it's like, oh yeah, this is what I was thinking.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, I don't think, I think there's a reason like the head prosecutor didn't take this case. And I
Because he
do
knew they
think,
were going to lose.
of course, it's a stinker. Like
Mhm.
the laws in Wisconsin are pretty decent with, yeah, little binger. Yeah. The laws in Wisconsin in terms of self-defense are pretty, like, they're not Texas good or Kentucky
Mhm.
good, but they're decent.
Now you live in Wisconsin, right?
Yeah.
Right. So you
Yeah.
would know.
Yeah. So, it's, you don't want to be shooting anybody in the back, but outside, there's a lot of, benefit of the doubt to the person defending themselves. And,
Well, especially when someone points a gun at them. And
well, but what if yours is bigger?
oh, well,
Then you should just, well, it's like the state says that you can only defend yourself from beyond the grave. It's like,
that's
well,
what it seems like. Well, he
yeah,
didn't kill you, did he? Did he
yeah,
shoot you dead? No. See, thank you. I rest my case.
he came right up to saying that yesterday.
It's
He's like,
crazy.
he's pointing right at your head. But he didn't fire. Oh, yes, right. He didn't. So I have to wait until he discharges on me before it's ludicrous.
Well, he tried to change it to almost make it seem like, well, you had the bigger gun, so wouldn't that make him fear for his life?
Right.
Well, actually, no, because the guy with the small small gun, was chasing him down the street.
He was armed the entire time, and he was talking to him all night.
Exactly. It's like he was chasing Kyle Rittenhouse. So why would and he knew Kyle Rittenhouse had the bigger gun.
He knew all night. He had multiple interactions with him. What this guy is like, literally fuck around and find out.
Yeah.
Like he thought he I don't know.
Sorry for the swears, people.
Oh, sorry.
That's okay.
I'll sorry. I'll
all good. Going
forward. Mess around and find out.
Yeah.
It's like I don't. To me, it's very difficult to understand what charges were ever even brought. You want to talk about curfew?
Yep.
Fine. You want to talk about, I don't know, discharging a weapon in an air? I don't know. What are any of these other non-prison terms?
Right. Exactly.
Okay, we can have that conversation, but the idea that they think this is homicide and that golly, I don't know how you look at that video. It's like, why would the prosecution even want to show the video? That's all you need.
Exactly.
What do you like? You could have just texted the video to everybody in the jury and been like, all right, what do you think?
See, well, you got to look in between the pixels, though. I think that's the case that they were looking at today.
Can you imagine
if you look in between,
the judge is 1,000 years old, and they're like, it's using an algorithm to replace. Yeah, right. Like that guy, he's just. First of all, I get it that it's like a loophole for lawyers.
Mm-hmm. True.
I mean, not a loophole, but it's, look, I was fine to have them not allow the pensions, whatever they call it,
Yeah.
But like, that's not really altering the image. Now, if you cut context out by doing that, right? Like suddenly Gage is out of the picture and now you just have Kyle, whatever the case is. Yeah, then I could see that. So I could see how it gets messy. It was a weird exchange. 3 people who clearly didn't understand digital photography or algorithms or anything.
Why that person was on the stand at all,
bad.
I don't know. It doesn't make any sense. Really, they were trying to show that Kyle was pointing his gun at Rosenbaum before like the interaction. The video or the clip, the still image, whatever they were trying to show, didn't really show that. And that's really the key. Like if you zoom in on it, you're almost like,
it makes it worse.
If you look closely, you'll see it. No, you don't see it. Look closer and you'll see it. It's like they were trying to instill it into the jury's mind that it existed. Look, see, you'll see it. It's like, I don't see it.
Yeah, it's like one of those dot pictures where you just stare at it long enough and it reveals itself.
Exactly.
It was a really interesting turn of events. It's been compelling. I still admit I have this sick feeling in my stomach, though. Like,
oh yeah, they're going to convict him anyway.
Where they're going to convict him anyway. Yeah, and it's just
ridiculous.
Like, when you have these cases that are hyper politicized,
Mhm.
like the one we had in Minneapolis. Like I will, and I don't want to dredge all that up, but like what that officer did was messed up and probably deserves some, but he didn't. It wasn't like a premeditated thing. Like
Agreed.
I don't think he ever, like if you wanted to do what, like involuntary manslaughter or something like that, I'd actually hear that stuff. But I feel like he never got a fair chance, and that he was going to get the book no matter what.
I
And
agree.
that's how it played out. And
Mhm.
that's what I worry about. Now Kyle's a lot different.
Yeah, it is.
But I'm just so nervous.
But not
Luckily,
different, not
go ahead.
different in the way that they want to make an example out of him. Just
Totally.
like they did with Chauvin. That's the same. They
Now,
really need to do that.
what I like, or what helps is that it is in Wisconsin,
Okay.
where people here are a little more like, you know,
Level-headed.
yeah, I mean, like, well, we're not afraid of repeatedly saying AR-15 isn't scaring that jury. He thinks it is, but
Yeah.
it's not. Like we know our weapons here. We know, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
this whole thing, we're like, well, how far did you practice target? How far did you target? What difference does it make?
Yeah.
Any hunter will go to their maximum distance. So like if anybody on that jury has ever hunted, it's like, so what
Yeah.
if you target
And
practice at 100 yards? So
right.
like it doesn't, it's irrelevant. Now I don't know anything about the jury. If they're a bunch of old blue hairs,
Right.
that's concerning, but I doubt it. I doubt that they
That
found a
would be
bunch of
open.
like
They see
lunatics.
blue hair. That's like, all right, you're biased.
Yeah, right. I'm pretty
Come
sure
on.
that they cut them out.
They're synonymous. If you have blue hair, I mean,
There are exceptions. I actually got an angry
all
email from
right.
a viewer once,
Like,
and I
I've
did.
got blue hair and I'm conservative. Like, okay,
Well,
all
one of
right.
my friends is
It exists.
yeah, he's in the service too, and he had his hair dyed blue, and he would always kind of be like, "Come on, man." And I was like, "Dude, it'd be even easier than complaining about it, just not dyeing your hair blue."
It's
Like
true.
it's just, if
I
you're worried
mean,
about it, that's a total choice. This isn't somebody judging you by their skin color. You're
hey,
volunteering. You're
if you
volunteering
got blue
that.
hair, you have to know people are going to make fun of you.
Yeah, and
Eh,
that's okay. If
That's
you want,
it.
yeah, yeah.
There.
I remember I had frosted tips once when I was in like middle school. I mean,
Wow.
you
You
know,
probably still do. Admit it. They're frosted under there.
they're
That's why you
frosted.
wear hats.
It's all tip now, though. There's no shaft. It's a real bizarre looking.
It's grown out a little, you know.
Yeah, well, thinning out a little bit.
Look at this though. That you mentioned the judge, and Rakita posted this. He said, "Imagine being mad that a judge actually consistently applies the rules and does so fairly." They are so angry at this judge. They're so angry, and this is what he really is applying the rules evenly.
He's been pretty fair, I think.
I think he's
Yeah.
been pretty fair. Yeah, okay, he's old. He's an old dude, but
Good.
yeah, good. I agree.
I mean, and honestly, I mean, even yesterday when his phone goes off and it's like proud to be an American or whatever, so I was like, oh no,
they're gonna hate it.
I was hoping it would be like WAP or something like that. Like
that would be pretty funny.
It would have been more hilarious if
internet.
it was.
I mean, have you not made that edit yet? Internet?
I really should have. Yeah, somebody should have. If
Get
you
on
want some
Laffy,
free
man,
retweets.
dude. But let me just say real quick, Laffy is hilarious and does incredible work for you. I had the pleasure to meet him on Friday Night Tights, or
okay,
was it Yellow Flash? No, I think it was Yellow Flash. Anyway, he's hilarious and does great work for you.
Yeah, somebody's got to get somebody's got to get that going. And again, like, what did that prove? He's 75 years. I mean, he remembers, like, he still has records that he bought in the 30s.
Yeah,
well, not really, but I mean, like,
he could. Yeah,
or
that his dad maybe bought.
Yeah, he has a buffalo nickel, and he like.
I've got a few of those.
I do too. Yeah,
but he used them.
I never exchanged them for 5 cents worth of goods.
Yeah,
but it's so you knew that was going to happen, and then so it's like everyone jumps on that, like, oh, see, he's a patriot. See,
he must be racist. He must be racist.
Yeah, it was really. It was hilarious when it happened. I didn't know it was the judge because I think the camera was like whatever live stream I was watching or whatever. But like he's been pretty And today with the Asian food,
Oh yeah,
that's
what happened with that? I must have missed that
so it
part.
was a candid moment where
Okay.
like he had sent the jury out, I think, to yell at the prosecutor again, if I remember correctly.
Again. Hmm.
But then he goes, they're basically asking when's lunch because it was like 12:40 or something, or 12:20 or something. Usually they
Hmm.
break around noon. And he's like, well, I don't know when the Asian food's getting here. Hopefully it's not on one of those shipping containers out and whatever. But like, of course, it's a joke about the supply chain, not about Asian people. And
Yeah.
then like freaking Trisha Takanawa from CNN
Oh
um,
goodness.
tweets it out. No, and here's this thing that if you people who are watching, if you start looking for it, what people will do on CNN or like leftists will do, and probably people on the right too, they tweeted out his quote. I need to find it. They tweeted out his quote with no context, but the
Of course.
implication was that it was racist.
Of
Because if you
course.
look, um,
I love Asian food, for the record. I love Asian
what is
food.
even is that not the appropriate term?
Well,
I don't
it's
even.
is Chinese food racist? Like it's not even real. Like Chinese food is actually Americanized. It's not
It's
actually
not real
even
Chinese food. Yeah, right.
right.
That's
So like real Asian food is really good. It's really delicious.
And he wasn't saying like hold the dog. He just said the
Right.
Asian food's coming, and
That
then he
might have been
made
a little bad.
well, yeah, if he had said that, but like, so I put the tweet in the chat if you want to bring it up.
Okay, hold on.
The but like this is what I mean. Like she writes it, hashtag Rittenhouse. Judge Bruce Schroeder breaks for lunch, referencing the food that was ordered as I hope the Asian food isn't coming. He did say is, that's a typo, isn't on one of those boats from Long Beach Harbor. And there's like a ton of people in here like, this
That's a
is
lot.
absolutely a mistrial. This is what this guy, look at this David, just scroll down, look at this prosecutor has to go to appellate court now before there is a verdict. 1.7 thousand likes think because he said Asian food, there should be a mistrial.
Why?
What? And by the way, no Asians involved in the trial anyway.
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense.
The one of the most
Kyle
hilarious.
Rittenhouse is guilty is still trending here.
Yeah, it popped up for me again too. Yeah, well, Twitter wants. It doesn't matter. Twitter wasn't right about the 2016 election either, and like,
Oof, good point.
you know that,
and it's not a real place.
it's
We
not.
gotta remember that.
Yeah, it's what are the actual maybe chat notes, but it's like the real demo of Twitter is like rich white women. That's like that's who use it. They're not like, you know, it's such a tiny group of America, and like they don't really represent. I mean, if they did, then AOC would be president. Like that. I mean,
I hope not. Goodness sake, can you imagine?